What's up, guys? This is Sam Preshow with suplexes. This right here, this is big suplexes, and I'm 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. This right here, this is
Pile Driver,
and she's.
and I'm gonna be King of the Pirates. And we are gonna make our Hell in a Cell 2020 predictions today for this very big match card of 5, which is a good thing.
The highway to hell.
A lot of times NXT takeovers only have 5 matches, but they give them time, and it's a decent length of a show to watch. It's not overwhelmingly long, so this could be a good thing.
Wait, last year was when they had the killed Roman angle, right?
In Hell in a Cell, last year Hell in a Cell was The Fiend versus Rollins.
Yeah,
Awful ending.
Last year, they had 5 matches. I think 3 matches announced, and it was doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the show was good. The main event was doo-doo.
Yeah.
But this year they have 5. So will they correct themselves and do a crap finish for the 3rd year in a row? What's your prediction?
Well, let's save the ending prediction for the ending of our predictions and start at the beginning with an opening match. Who knows what the match on the pre-show is going to be? Maybe Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black. Maybe Seth versus Murphy again or something, right? Who knows? Maybe they'll just throw in a tag team match or something.
I think it'll be the Street Profits versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, so something that already has build would be nice rather than just throwing Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn together or something, right?
I'd like that. Though.
Yeah, but that's not pre-show, no story worthy. That's something that I want to see them drag out a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the one of the 5 matches that are officially on the card on the main show. So the first one they came up with yesterday on SmackDown is The Miz versus Otis.
Voila.
In a Money in the Bank briefcase match that's not a ladder match with the Money in the Bank briefcase hanging from the middle of the ring because Otis can't climb the ladders. We learned that at Money in the Bank that he's just too heavy to climb the ladders. Not like any other wrestler that big as
Vince was laughing his ass off in the back with Kevin Dunn.
Pretty much. So they're having a wrestling match at Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and the winner of that match gets the briefcase. Those are the only stipulations. We don't know if it's a no DQ match or anything like that. We don't know if the briefcase can change hands on a DQ. We really don't know a lot about this match. But let's hear your predictions. So who do you think's gonna win?
I think that it's gonna be Otis. 'Cause I feel like you'd think The Miz. But The Miz isn't gonna be world champ. Otis could maybe do something where they have another match, and if he wins, Tucker comes back, and then Tucker comes back and they win the tag titles. But I just don't see Miz being world champ right now.
I don't think they should set a precedent of having a match that determines the Money in the Bank because JBL got paid off with a bribe when he was a pretend judge in a court of law. That's just
damn.
Yeah, it's just too much. So I think Otis is gonna win. I think this way they can just end this little storyline, especially now that Miz and Morrison are on Mondays and Otis is still on the Fridays, and just let him have the briefcase and see what happens. See where he cashes it in. If he ever cashes it in, he's got a long time to cash it in. A year is a long time. When was Money in the Bank? It's after WrestleMania,
May?
So May, I think. Yeah. So he's got a lot of time to cash that in, and if they're planning on having limited seating fans back for WrestleMania, maybe when they do start having some fans back, that's a better time to get the Otis cash-in pop. Whether he wins on his cash-in or not, it's another story, but the pop, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So all right, okay. So we're both in agreement on Otis winning that match. Do you think that match is going to lead to some sort of dissension between Miz and Morrison? Do you think Morrison's going to be a little jealous that he's not the one who gets to win the Money in the Bank?
A little, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I agree. I agree. But we'll see. We'll see what they do because they are not on the same show. They've moved to Monday, so I don't know if they're even going to go with that. All right, the next match that we have is long time booking Jeff Hardy versus Elias. So Elias still thinks that Jeff Hardy hit him with a car back in. It was right before Money in the Bank, so I'm going to say May. It might have been April, but I think it was May. So, yeah. So I'll just go first for this one. Doesn't really matter who wins. I think they're going to let Elias win. It seems like they want to give Elias a push. They did a good job of booking him for the Monday show because the Monday show is 3 hours. So we want all the long entrances, Fiend, and we want all of the long concerts, Elias, to be on that show just to kill time.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of what we need. So I think Elias is going to win. I don't think Jeff Hardy really winning does anything for him, but Elias is returning from an injury. His first, let's call it a feud back. When he's back, I think he's got to win this one. Otherwise, he's going to look pretty poopy.
I agree with you. Apparently, WWE wants to push Elias.
And even if they don't want to push him, you don't come back from an injury really mad at the person you think hurt you and then lose. Unless they're going to use this as an opportunity to unveil the real person who hit him with the car. Now that we do have Retribution and the Hacker on Monday, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That would be too much long-term booking.
Yeah.
It's more like long-term hindsight. Okay, next match. The SmackDown Women's Championship is on the card. I don't think it's going to go on last. I think it's going to go on second last. I don't think it's going to go on in this.
I think it's going to kick off the night.
Oh.
Because,
they do like to kick it off with a Hell in a Cell. Right?
Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman said that year at WrestleMania when he fought Seth, nobody remembers the middle. They remember the beginning and the end. Okay. And WWE wants us to remember this, obviously. My pick is Bayley. I think Bayley retains, and then we get a rematch at Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I think it's going to be a long story. Because if Sasha wins, then it's over. They can't do anything. If Bayley wins, they could have a second, they could have a third.
I think Bayley's going to win. Mandalorian comes out October 30th. I think she's going to injure Sasha's neck again. Sasha came back too fast, can be their thing. That's why she lost. Bayley's going to hide something. Maybe she's going to do we've seen the handcuff kind of thing a couple of times. They're going to pull something like that just makes it so that Sasha can't. Not a toolbox though. That's what.
Maybe your brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Sasha's.
Yeah, maybe Sasha's brass knuckles because there's no rules in Hell in a Cell, so she's gotta she's really gotta just load up under that ring. She's going in before the match when no one's in the building, just hiding stuff under that ring, right? Maybe in person.
Before they try and break the cell, but it wouldn't work with the women, in Charlotte Flair match. I really want them to hear. I'm not sure if they could, but I want good home. So this is gonna be the match.
I think it's gonna be a great match.
I think it
I think it'll be a great match wrestling wise.
Out of match of the night.
Yeah, out of the 3 Hell in a Cell matches, I think this will be the best one wrestling wise, wrestling entertainment wise. I think the Roman Reigns one will be the best emotional story told match, maybe, but this could be I don't know. But I also agree with you. I also think that Bayley's gonna win. I think Sasha's gonna get injured. I think she's gonna go off for a little while, and then as it should have been, instead of her just showing up and saying I want a match, she should come back as part of maybe before Survivor Series or something. She should come back. I did see online people hinting saying for Survivor Series they're thinking of doing a Undertaker special, right? Because it's anniversary. I think he debuted at Survivor Series
30 years ago.
Yeah, 30 years ago. Oh, just like Jericho. And so I think that if Sasha maybe does a team with I don't know, Undertaker theme team or something. I don't know. They could do something good with it, right? Where they're not fighting each other still one-on-one, but they have teams going into there. Might be interesting.
I was thinking this before Hell in a Cell. I told you. I told Pile Driver that I don't think they should be at Hell in a Cell. I think, like, now it's good, but I still think they should main event Survivor Series as the blow-off. Because that elevate them, the title, the feud, and the pay-per-view. It's a win-win-win-win.
And you know how they're both kind of heels right now, right? And they've both been mean to everyone. Imagine if they had to come up with Survivor Series teams, because I don't want them to do the Raw versus SmackDown team thing this year, right? Versus NXT. I want them to make up their own teams. And Sasha's like, if my team wins, I get another shot at that belt. And Bayley's like, if my team wins, you can't get it. But part of their struggle is trying to get a team together because he screwed so many people.
The thing with that is the big four are supposed to be the blow-offs. But
I feel like they could drag it to WrestleMania.
If they do that, the big four is used as a setup.
Mm-hmm. So this is how it happens. Sasha's team loses somehow. Maybe someone on the team like screws her over. Maybe there's a Charlotte on the team that screws her over. Whoever it is a mini feud with Sasha meantime, and then she wins the Royal Rumble and challenges Bayley for WrestleMania.
The thing is,
saying it makes me excited.
The last match they have has to be a main event or the biggest match. And I'm not sure if Vince is gonna let them go on past that Mania.
I don't know. They're pulling in all those, and if it's in front of fans. And who knows? Maybe they're gonna do 2 nights of Mania again this year. Like we don't, right? I don't know. Okay, but anyways, that's okay. So we're obviously, from all of this talking that we've been doing, we're very excited about this feud. They're doing a good job with the feud.
All 3 of the Hell in a Cell matches I'm excited for. Like, that's kind of crazy. Even Sasha and Becky last year and Seth and The Fiend, I was excited for both of them.
Okay. So next we have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell. And I think this will be the third. I'm agreeing with you as Sasha and Bayley opening and this being the third.
The second?
Like the middle Hell in a Cell match. I think they'll go Hell in a Cell, regular match. I think they'll do the Elias one after the Bayley Sasha, and then I think they'll do McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then I think they'll do Otis, and then I think they'll do the Reigns match. Like that. I think it'll be like Cell, not Cell, Cell, not Cell, Cell. Like
or if they throw in another, they could like.
It'll be on pre-show, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell.
Could I go first?
Yes.
Here's my prediction. It's bold. I know I said a bold one for Clash of Champions, but like they went even further. They had all the people. Throwback to 07. Edge dresses up as a cameraman, screws Randy over.
But they already did Randy dressing like a cameraman. Throwback to Edge dressing as a cameraman.
No, he was a janitor.
No, he was a cameraman like earlier in the feud one day. Wasn't he?
But that's perfect at Mania he was.
Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
At WrestleMania, you're right.
Okay.
But that's perfect. He smacks him, shuts him in, Claymore, 1, 2, 3, and then like...
Okay, so I like that because obviously I like Edge. And I say obviously because I'm old, so I obviously watched Edge back in the day.
I watched old school videos of him lately.
Yeah. But my only issue with it is the last pay-per-view, Drew got help from other people when he fought Orton. And I want Drew to beat Orton without any help. So my prediction is that Drew McIntyre wins, but I think after he wins, Edge can come in and attack Orton then.
That's better, I feel like that.
Because I want McIntyre to be the champion and win, and I don't think that Edge and Orton need to have the belt in their feud. I
They
think
don't.
that they can just continue their feud on. Like, it's Edge. He doesn't need a belt. And let Drew McIntyre keep the belt. I'm not sure who he's going to feud with next, but let him feud with someone else. Now, if they were planning on doing The Fiend versus Orton because Edge still can't come back, then I'm okay with Orton winning the belt. But otherwise, like, unless they're doing Orton Fiend, I don't want. And even then, he doesn't need the belt to go against the Fiend because the Fiend doesn't need the belt.
That'd be better without the belt. Just like the WrestleMania match, it would have been good. It would have been better without the WWE Championship.
Yeah, if they don't have foresight as to who's going to end up being the champion, you don't really want those main championships bouncing back and forth a bunch of times. Like we saw with when it happened with Charlotte and Sasha, like it really kind of got on my nerves that belt was like bouncing back and forth so many times.
Sasha should have won it, and then she should have dropped it to Bayley.
Yeah, so I don't want them to bounce the belt. So in a feud with Orton versus Fiend, you don't have to worry about who are you protecting, who's going to keep the belt. You know, like you can just make one of them lose a bunch of times and the other one lose a bunch of times. Like whatever. Like it's easier to book.
Yeah.
Feud doesn't need a belt. The only feuds that need belts are the ones that are about the belt and about being the champion, and the ones that don't have past extra fuel to add to the fire. That you need something to make that spark in the feud. So I would like McIntyre to retain, and Randy Orton loses, and either Edge comes and beats the poop out of him, or the Fiend. Because like it would be so fitting if the lights go down and then the Fiend shows up in the ring with Orton at the end of the match. Like even if he doesn't touch him, he just shows up. That would be very interesting. Yeah. So that's
and then like one more thing. Later on down the line, I do want to see Edge challenge Drew for the title, whether he wins it or not. That's a solid feud.
Yeah, and I think they need Edge to. And Edge doesn't have a lot of matches in his contract. I don't know if it's 5 a year or 6 a year or something. So I don't know if you want to. Like, yeah, it worked with Lesnar. Did it work with Lesnar? I kind of hate him for that. So I don't know if they were to do that. I think Edge needs to be healthy. I think he needs to come back and just wrestle on a more regular basis to show that his body can take it. Because like Edge is a little bit older than me, right? So you know, like there's no way I could get in a ring. I couldn't when I was young, but there's your bodies is not the same. So I think he needs to just see if he can maintain the pace, and then give him the belt. But if he can't, it's okay to not give him the belt. There are other things that he can win. Or give him, like, instead of the heavyweight belt, give him one of the mid-card belt, right? Like the US, the IC, or put him in a tag team. Give him a tag team belt for a while. They don't care about tag teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, final prediction match that we both think is going to go on last.
I want to
Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in a Hell in a Cell I Quit match.
I want to go first, please.
And if Jey Uso loses, he has to acknowledge that Roman Reigns is the chief, is the boss, is his leader, is the man who brings food on the table, and he has to fall in line. Otherwise, him and his brother and his kids and his wife and his grandkids and the rest of his lineage is no longer part of the dynasty. What's your prediction?
Okay.
There's a lot at stake.
That's
why I got my serious voice.
I think a lot of wild crap is gonna go down, and I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. So this is gonna be a brutal match. I think it's gonna take a half hour for it to end. Like at the end, Jey Uso. I don't think he's gonna say I quit, but he's gonna lose. I don't know how. But
and they can't even do the thing where his brother says I quit for him because they already did that, right?
But Attitude Era fans, I know you're watching. If you remember when The Rock fought Mankind, he won because they played it on a video package of Mankind saying I quit. Oh, BS finish for the year in a row. And okay, most important.
What if his? Okay, no, sorry. I'm sorry. This is your prediction. I shouldn't be interrupting.
Most importantly, after the match, Roman kicks the shit out of him. He's like beating him up. Jimmy, the cell raises, and then guess who comes out the crowd? I think they're doing Brock Roman at Survivor Series. So Brock comes, he just like F5s everybody, holds the title, stares at Heyman, and then the show goes off. And that's the cliffhanger. That will bring people in. That's what Survivor Series is gonna have. Bayley, Sasha, Drew, Fiend, maybe, and then you have Brock Roman, but the roles reversed.
What I think, well, okay, so your prediction was obviously Roman's gonna win. I also agree that Roman's gonna win, but it's just like the last pay-per-view. We knew Roman was gonna win, but it's like, how is he gonna win? That's where the excitement is. So while you were doing your prediction, my brain was like, just not going like this because then I'm crazy, but my brain was like, the wheels were turning. I don't know how to do the symbol for wheels turning, but I was thinking, it's like, woo! I was thinking that what if, like, one by one, members of his family come down and they're standing outside of the cage and they're begging him to say, I quit, because he's like blood. Just like blood. This is like not on TV. This is a pay-per-view. Like just blood, like fake blood. I don't care. Like it's like red. He's like Ric Flair. Okay, like just red face, red hair, right? Everything red. And his wife comes out and she's like, oh please. His brother comes out. His kids come out and they're begging him. His aunt, his uncle, his dad. They're all outside the ring just begging Roman to stop, begging Jay to say, I quit. Say it for us. We're all going to be kicked out of this family if you don't say I quit, or you're going to die, right? Oh, that would be so good. If they just like slowly, the whole family's there and they're just like, you gotta quit. And then he looks at them and he's just like, all right, I quit. I give in. Like he gives in. He just doesn't have the fight. And then him and his brother are now Roman Reigns' henchmen, and they don't want to be. They were like forced to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're his henchmen, and now they reluctantly follow his orders. And every time he gives them an order or tells them to do something, like they're like, they go out to, kick the crap out of someone, and they're just like, I'm sorry, man, like I don't want to do this, but I have to do it. And they reluctantly do it, and they can drag that on for a little while. Until eventually maybe they'll turn on him at some point when they want to drop the belt off Roman, but they can just go with that and build for a while. That I think that would be good. So that's my prediction. My prediction is Roman wins, and my hope is that they do something interesting like that.
I want.
Please no Brock. Okay, your battery's low, so we gotta say goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Enjoy Hell in a Cell.
This has been Suplexus
and Pile Driver.